Hey guys, it's Kalela or Callie. Welcome to another video. I know, weird. I'm doing a voiceover. Yes, today is a different video. It's short, sweet, to the point. So this week I worked on this new project using chunky yarn from this crochet cardigan. So I decided to unravel this entire cardigan. I made it last year and I couldn't finish it. I used like 10 balls of the wool from We Are Knitters. This is the color Yarnicorn, and I didn't even have enough to do like the ribbing around the cardigan. So I just decided to set it on the side and work on it like another time, create something new. And now that I know how to knit, I was like, oh my gosh, I can knit this cardigan. So I decided to use the chunky game match set by Karas.Knit, and I went about just unraveling all of the yarn. I had some yarn that wasn't used or crocheted, so I just wound that up, and then I unraveled this top that my sister tried to make, and then I just wound them into little balls like this, and I didn't even have to touch the sweater or the cardigan yet, so that isn't even unraveled yet. We'll get to that later. I decided to use my Lick needles, and the recommended needle size were 12mm needles, okay? Some chunky boys. I'm a 4mm girl, okay? So this was very big. I used this yarn ball that I got from Furls because I didn't feel like winding the balls into cakes. I think that would have just been too much, and the yarn ball worked perfectly. Now these stitch markers were literally the only ones I could find that could fit. Like, I only have tiny needles that I use and tiny stitch markers, okay? I'm not used to this chunky stuff. But anyway, I started casting on the sweater, and I actually enjoyed this process so much. Like, it was so nice. It was so different because I had just come from working on my caramel sweater, which is a 4mm project, and this one is a 12mm. So it felt weird trying to tension my yarn throughout this because when you use chunkier needles, you don't need to hold it too tightly. I mean, if you do, you're literally gonna hurt your wrists, okay? But you don't have to hold it so like as tight as you would a 4mm. I'm gonna say 4mm because that's what I use. You won't have to hold it as tight, and I actually liked that because I could knit relaxed. Now in this clip here, I was trying to do I-cord and I was struggling so much because I hadn't done I-cord before. This was my first time and it was so weird to me. I kept thinking I was doing it wrong, but as I worked it up, it actually started looking like a nice tube, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is magic. It was just so cool. I loved it so much. So 10 out of 10, recommend I-cord, especially for like bag straps. I feel like it'll be good for bag straps. It just looks so freaking good. It honestly took me no time to finish the bralette part of the set because it's a set. It's a bralette and then it's a cardigan. And the bralette took me literally like a few hours, maybe 3 or 4 hours to do. And sewing on the straps were so easy. I did them on the inside so that it wouldn't show on the outside. I hate when there's like a big bump showing on the outside when it comes to straps on tank tops. So that's what I did. And I just wove in my ends on the inside. I like to split the stitch as I go so that it doesn't come through on the other side. And I think that's like the best way to weave in ends, in my opinion. Okay, everyone has their own way, but in my opinion, this is like the perfect way, and it stays flat and nice, and it's just so perfect to me. So this is the finished product. It looks so good. Oh my gosh. Now, after I did that, I had to now take apart my crochet cardigan, okay? This chunky boy here. I was struggling so freaking much because when I weave in my ends, they disappear. Like, not to be seen ever again, not to be unraveled, and I was struggling so much just to find the end so that I could unravel this sweater. But eventually I finally found it and I was able to pull it apart, and that was just the first step, okay? Pulling apart all of the panels. So I slip stitched all of them together, and I had to find that slip stitch, pull all of them together, find it for each corner, and then finally I got all of the pieces apart. That took so long. The next part took even longer, and I was trying to unravel the entire project at this point. And honestly, I feel like this took longer than me actually knitting up the cardigan. Like, it took so long, but it was so worth it. And I'm so glad I did that because this yarn was just so nice, and I was like, I feel like I could really see the color pop if I actually knitted it. So I'm just so happy I knitted it. But I wound all of these into giant and small balls. However they came out, that's how I wound them up, and I just kept them in that form. Now, as I was knitting this, my hand was hurting so badly. Literally, my wrist and I had to take so many breaks. But doing this part, like picking up the stitches for the shoulders and stuff, was surprisingly easy. Oh my gosh, I didn't expect it to be this easy. Also, this is my first voiceover, okay? I feel like I'm rushing and like I'm watching my video as I'm talking, so I'm trying to just keep up with what is going on in the video. Like, I already went through it and edited and everything, but it's still weird having to speak throughout it. But this is just me trying to finish the other front panel, because it's a cardigan, so you have the back panel and then you have the front two panels. And when I finished those, I was like, oh my gosh. And I decided to do the button band right after this. I don't think I filmed that part, but I did do the button band. But before I did the button band, I sewed this together using the mattress stitch, and it was my first time doing it. I did mess up a bit, but oh my gosh, the end result of pulling that and seeing it just like disappear, magic. Hello? Why didn't anyone tell me that the mattress stitch was this great before? Okay, I will not ever worry about knitting flat ever again if I know it could turn out like this, okay? Like, this is great. I love that. But you know how I said I did the button band? Yeah, I picked up too few stitches. I didn't realize I was skipping like every other stitch or something, and it made the front part of the cardigan just scrunch up, and it was so ugly, so I had to unravel it, unfortunately. And to ease that frustration, I decided to just work on the sleeve right after. Oh my gosh, I love sleeves. I don't know what it is about sleeves, but sleeves are so great to me, and so working on this literally brought my happiness back for this project. And it was turning out so good. But at first I was like, oh my gosh, is this too big? Like, the sleeve, is it too big? But it's supposed to be like a huge oversized sleeve, so I didn't worry about that in the end, because I looked at pictures of this set and I was like, oh, okay, it's turning out exactly how it's supposed to turn out, so that was fine. And I actually like did this shot on purpose because I like how you can't see my face on camera, but like in a mirror you can see it. A cinematic masterpiece. Anyway, I finished my sleeve and I was so happy with how the scrunch looked around the wrist. And then I decided to do the rest off camera, even the button band and everything. And then I finished it. It took me about, I would say 2 days, but 3 days, because I had to unravel so much for so long. But oh my gosh, look at how good this turned out. I am in love. This is the fastest I've ever finished a knit project, obviously because it's so chunky. But I was so happy with this. But that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. I know it's short, but I'll see you guys next time with another video. It'll probably be a vlog. Okay, bye!